In one of my previous videos, I talked about up-and-coming smart cities, also known as 15-minute cities that a lot of you weren't aware of. I also talked about what I felt like was some very impressive and innovative buildings and infrastructures that were coming soon. I mentioned a particular smart city that's called The Line in Saudi Arabia, and a lot of you was not happy about that. But in this video, I'm going to explain for those that don't know what smart cities actually are. So before we get into that, let me show you exactly what a smart city is.
Smart city programs being rolled out across the country. Invasive technology such as facial recognition cameras, license plate readers, smart lights, smart poles, smart cars, smart neighbourhoods, smart homes and smart appliances, all connected to wireless networks and communicating with each other. So what's wrong with that? Technology is good, isn't it? All this is for your safety, security and convenience, isn't it? Well, let me tell you, your streets are spying on you. Your mobile phone is spying on you, your cities are spying on you, and the infrastructure for future lockdowns is being put into place right now. Don't be fooled. You're being set up to be tracked through your movements and through the future of your digital wallets. By handing over your data, you're handing over the ability to monitor your behaviour, which will soon be turned into a social credit score. And once the central bank digital currencies are in place, you won't get to spend your money without approval. Digital ID will soon become a reality in Australia. Many other countries are already rolling these systems out, countries like Canada, Scotland and many others. Eventually, you won't be able to access any government or public services, and you won't be able to travel across borders or access healthcare or the internet without a digital ID. Think you won't comply? I think you will. The last 2 years were the dress rehearsal and we fell for it hook, line and sinker. Australians are sleepwalking into this technocratic future. And while we're sitting around scratching our chins trying to work out whether this is really happening, Australia is drifting towards a dystopian digital future.
Now that you know what a smart city is, let's listen to what this government official has to say about the smart city that I was talking about in my previous video, The Line.
The 15-minute cities, they will have to have those before they can lock you down. So in Great Britain, some county already passed legislation. They will be able to impose a climate lockdown. That's the next step. So in order to do that, they will have to have these 15-minute cities. The next step then, of course, will be you are only allowed to leave your immediate area for, let's say, 2 or 3 times a year. So, but there's other people that may have more money and they can actually buy your passings off of you. So guess what? The poor people will be left in these 15-minute neighborhoods, while the ones that are better off get to go wherever they want to go. Look at Saudi Arabia, for instance. They're pulling up Neom City. They call it The Line. So this is like a structure in the middle of the desert, 200 kilometers long, 200 meters wide, 500 meters high, and it will house up to 9 million people. If I wanted to get total control of the people, that's exactly where and how I would house them. And then having them on a 3 meals a day prescription, well, guess what will happen if you do not do as you are told? They will probably cancel that. It's so easy. It will be a complete impoverishment and enslavement of all the people.
Yep, just what I expected, so it's a big no for me. I'm also going to give you a list of other futuristic smart cities that you may not have known existed, some even being in America. But here are some more fascinating futuristic cities that you should check out that already exist.
This is the most impressive city in China. Seeing a train pass through a building is not something you would expect, but in this city, it's completely normal. I'm talking about Chongqing, China. It's one of the most futuristic metropolises in the world. For example, seeing a building floating on water isn't common, but here it's an everyday occurrence. There are gas stations on the rooftops of buildings for cars to refuel. And if that's not enough, this city has one of the deepest subways on the planet. It goes 94 meters deep, equivalent to a 31-story building. Additionally, Chongqing has one of the most complex overpasses in the world. It's like a maze, so be careful not to take a wrong turn. But the last one will surprise you. At first glance, when you watch this video, you might think you're on the ground floor. But as you walk to the edge of the balcony, you realize you're actually on the 22nd floor of a building.
See, the reason people call Chongqing the 5D city is because it served as China's World War II capital. All of those old underground bomb shelters have since been transformed into roads, basements, and buildings. So, good luck finding your way around. Here, you think I'm on the ground floor, right? Wrong, because if you go to one side, you'll see you're on level 1. And if you go to the other side of the square, you're now on level 18. And almost everywhere in the city is like this. Here, we're on the 14th floor, and the elevator even shows you that. But if you walk outside, you're now on the ground floor again. And if you think simply walking around the city is confusing, try driving. One wrong turn on these roads, and you're cooked.
I agree, America is way behind on infrastructure and technology, but here's their solution to it.
Billionaires that are building their own cities. 3. Mark Lore, Telosa. American entrepreneur Mark Lore has planned a utopian, environmentally friendly city called Telosa to be built somewhere in the U.S. southwestern deserts, having the combined admiral features of New York, Tokyo, and Stockholm. 2. Bill Gates, Belmont. Bill Gates is set to build a technology-oriented city called Belmont, for which his company has already invested $80 million and purchased 24,800 acres of land on the west of downtown Phoenix.
Hey, look, I'm all for change, but I am a little curious to know why everybody is pushing so hard for their project to be started or finished by the year 2030. Is it something that y'all know that y'all not telling us? Now that you've seen all of that and you got a better understanding of what a smart city is, what is your opinion? Do you think America should follow this trend?
We think we know where the money is. This is where the money is, man. It's meant to be the largest modern downtown in the world. This mega skyscraper will measure 400 meters on each side. It could fit up to 20 Empire State Buildings inside of it. They target to finish this just 7 years from now. But wait till you see what's inside, because of course it's not just some hollow cube inside. It's actually a dome that makes you feel like you're stepping into the metaverse. This dome will display holographic scenes, transporting you into different worlds, so that anytime you step into this building, you will be immersed in an entirely new planet. One day you'll see the bottom of the ocean, another day you'll feel like you're on the surface of Mars. I'm not even done yet. New Maraba will also feature a multi-purpose immersive theater, a University of Science and Design, and an iconic museum. All of these are laid out in the middle of green areas with nice walking and cycling paths, and just a 20-minute drive from the international airport. It will give jobs to more than 300,000 people. That must be interesting to visit. They are way ahead of everyone. Which leads me to the final question. Does Saudi Arabia have enough money to afford this insanity?